Hey guys, welcome back again. Wow, second video in the same day. But hope you got to catch the other video with the great AOK I got from our good friend Eric K. And this is a stack of books I got at my local comic shop. Um, Dived into the dollar boxes and the $2 boxes and got a few, I guess what you would call regular price back issues at a good price actually. Uh, so usually I'll go up there every so often and they'll have like three or four long boxes full of $2 books, like all Bronze Age, a lot of great stuff in there, and I've pilfered those boxes quite a bit. So I guess this had been a couple of weeks ago. I went up there and they just had one long box and had about this many comics in it. And I was like, oh, I was kind of disappointed. So, but I went through and I found several, and then I went and found a few, you know, back issues. I guess individually priced, and I found a few that were really good bargains and stuff that I really liked. And then I went over to the dollar box and I found out why there weren't as many $2 books is because I guess a lot of stuff that hadn't sold in the $2 boxes he had transplanted over in the dollar boxes. And I mean, there was a bunch, that I had seen before. That's, well, I might try to get that. And so, oh, somebody's already got them, but I got to get several of those and rescue those from the dollar boxes. So really, really pleased with what I got. This first one is the issue uh, I did not have, Legion of Superheroes number 260. Uh, this is actually the second issue of the Legion's, I guess, solo title after they dropped the Superboy in Legion, because you had the original Superboy title that ran through 196, and then with 197 it became Superboy guest starring the Legion of Superheroes, and that ran through 259. And from this run, I think from 259 to 354, and those later issues kind of reprinted some of the Baxter series that came out in the early 80s. If you guys know, Legion fans know what I'm talking about. But that went to issue 354, so that's 95 issues. So I think this makes them 13 shy now of having all 95 of that run. So really glad to add this one. This is when I was buying the Legion, regularly. A big Legion fan, still am. I'm just kind of waiting for him to come back with a Legion book just to see if it's going to be anything close to what this was. So anyway, and most of these are like in great shape. I rebagged them all, but yeah, good stuff. And some of these I already had, but for $1 or $2, and a lot of them were upgrades actually. So I have like 4 of the 5 chapters of the Great Darkness Saga, from like 291 through 295, I guess, or 290 through 295, 94. I'm sorry. Great Paul Levitz and Keith Giffen stuff. So for $1 I'll pick those up anytime. So we got 291. And 292. Like I say, I already had these, but for $1 they're kind of hard to pass up. I don't know if these will become obsession books. I've got several obsession books. You hear me out there, Eric K. 293, a great cover. And you get to see Superboy and Supergirl in this story. And you have a free 16-page preview of Masters of the Universe. And here you have the last chapter. This might be an obsession book. I've got 4 or 5 of these now, but for $1, hard to pass up. We find out the villain is Darkseid. So, great story. I'm trying to complete the first Booster Gold run, so I found some of those. And this guest stars the Legion of Superheroes, so good stuff. Here's number 9, Dan Jurgens special. And number 10. I think there was only 25 in this first series of Booster Gold. Found a Secret Origins I did not have. I remember, but I did have this one when I was a kid. Well, not as a kid, I guess, I was probably in my 20s by then. But this is one that I used to have, and I don't know what happened to it. But this is issue 22, featuring the secret origin of the Manhunters. You got the Paul Kirk version, and then the androids, and this was like another one of the original Manhunters from the Golden Age. You have the Grandmaster there, and this is also a Millennium Week 2 crossover. I don't know if you got many fans of the Millennium miniseries. I haven't. I thought it sucked, but the crossovers were really good. So, and I found 3 issues of a Starman series from the 90s that I did not have. So really, really happy to find these. So I had like several issues missing in the 50s, and I think that might have been the bulk of what I had missing, because it ran like 80 issues, and I think there was like a Darkest Night issue, like 81. But here's number 53. A great Tony Harris cover. 54. I always like these times past stories. And this is one of my favorites, 55. I've read this one. This guest stars like Ultra the Multi-Alien, Space Cabbie. You know, you have the Blue Starman, Taxi Cab Confessions. Pretty cool. And I think I showed this maybe on CBM or maybe on Joe's show, I'm not sure. But Tony Harris, who did the art and did most of the covers, but did the art on a big long run, he was selling prints from his Facebook page. And so I was lucky enough to grab one of those, and it's autographed by Tony, but this is called the Knight family. You got Ted Knight, David Knight, and Jack Knight. And you got Tony's autograph there at the bottom. So looking forward to finding a frame for this one and sticking it up on the wall. Very happy to have that. Okay, we got some more Bronze Age stuff. Trying to complete my DC Comics Presents run. Getting pretty close. I guess it was like 97, 98 issues. So maybe 8 or 10 issues away on that. We have Superman and Airwave. And also special guest star Superboy in the original Airwave. So very cool. Love it when you see old characters team up. Here we got Superman and Aquaman, DC Presents number 48. And I would like these bonus features, like Whatever Happened To. That's Whatever Happened to the Black Pirate. And this is a Gil Kane and excuse me, Kane and Frank Giacoya cover. Number 29, Superman and Elongated Man, Andrew and Dick Giordano. This is one that I had when I was younger, and something happened to it, I'm not sure. Number 18, Superman and Zatanna, when she had her updated costume, which I never was a fan of. I always liked the top hat and the fishnets and heels, as I'm sure a lot of you do. Have here's one for my buddy Rod. We're both big Metamorpho fans, you know, BC and D and E-list characters. This is Batman the Outsider's Annual number 2 with a great Jim Aparo cover. And to me, this is a key because this is the issue where Metamorpho and Sapphire finally become man and wife. Already collected this series, but for $1 in decent shape, you know, I'll pick 70 series up anytime. So we got Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter number 9 with a great Dick Giordano cover. I think this is another series that our friend Eric K completed and collects. Found a Sergeant Rock with a Joe Kubert cover. Cannot pass Joe Kubert up. So Sergeant Rock 409. And this is more of a modern age comic, but I'm trying to get back into my Legion appearances. So this is Adventure Comics number 8, and I guess number 511 if you're counting past the original run. but a great cover. And this version, this is my Legion right here. I think this is part of the Last Stand on New Krypton storyline, which I never did collect all of. And more Legion of Superheroes, DC Superstars number 3. I've got probably 4 copies of this, but it was $1 and in great shape. So, you know, hard to pass up. Upgraded some Justice Leagues. Are you listening again, Mr. Eric K? This is a lot better shape than my original. This is number 164. Speaking of Zatanna's updated costume. There. Number 158. This is part of the DC Explosion line. This is better than the one I have. I think I might have paid $2 for this, but this is an appearance by Ultra. I think he was supposed to be Earth Prime's first superhero, even before Superboy Prime, maybe. It's all kind of confusing. I know. And I know Eric will recognize this one. Justice League of America 133. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, right? Great story. Ernie Chan cover. Another great Ernie Chan cover. Earth Dies Screaming, Justice League of America 129. And Red Tornado bites the dust again in this one. How many times has he died and come back? I don't know. It's like how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. So, glad to upgrade some JLAs. Here's some later Bronze Age action comics I did not have. Got more Airwave and the Atom, Brainiac and Luthor. Number 514. I think by this time I was kind of losing a little bit of interest in action comics. Just wasn't, you know, what it used to be. Let's put it that way. So, but I'm trying to complete the run I had, like from the late, I don't know, 360s or 370s up through, I guess, the end of the Bronze Age run, which was like Action Comics, 583 maybe, I'm thinking. So, for $1, yep. And this is a little bit earlier. This is getting towards the end of the Bronze Age. Number 493, Action Comics. This is an upgrade. Mine was in pretty rough shape. Here we have Superman in Action Comics 474. Kurt Schaffenberger cover. Make another pile here. And I'll never turn down making an upgrade with a Neil Adams cover. This is Action Comics 466. Luthor turned Superman and Batman into kids and killed them. And then he turned Superman into a kid and he killed him. I don't think it really happened. Okay, I think all the rest of these are, they were priced as marked. Some of them might be in a $2 box. A couple issues I needed for my Supervillain team-up run. Got a great Rich Buckler and Klaus Janson cover. And another one of those great B-list characters, the Shroud, number 7. Number 8. More Doom and Submariner. Got some Charlton comics here. Fighting 5, number 46. Gotta love Charlton's. Getting close to completing my original E-Man run. This is it's not great shape because somebody wrote 10 cents on it, but E-Man number 2. Got a great Joe Staton cover. And we've got some Gold Key. And this might be my first issue of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. I'm pretty sure. So this is number 9. Got a great George Wilson painted cover. Space Family Robinson Lost in Space. Another great George Wilson cover. Number 20. And from Charlton, I guess mid-60s, this is number 2 of Go-Go. I guess in the same vein as, trying to copy the Archie comics, Tippy the Teen, Debbie and Debbie's Dates, just some fun stuff. Has some articles about 60s groups and TV shows. I think there's only 9 issues of this, so now I'm like, this looks like one of those would be kind of hard to collect, and so I put them on my want list. So the other 8 issues, they just look like a cool little esoteric book. Got some Fighting Air Force, great cover, number 52. And from Super Comics, these were great reprints. I guess like from the early 60s, that were reprinted like from the 50s, I guess. And this one's in really rough shape. But this is Kit Carson number 10. But for you in the know, this is a great John Severin cover. So had to rescue this one. Couldn't leave it behind. And last but not least, another Super Comics reprint, Battle Stories, number 16. And so that was my last little foray to my LCS. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Happy to be back on here. I've been watching videos, haven't got to comment on a whole lot of them just because of time constraints, but I'm checking a lot of great stuff out. Time travel comics, Captain Strange Life, Grot 2, Higgy, all his great stuff, Metarog, Damien. Just haven't got time to comment just because I'm using my breaks at work, setting up my car. Hey, look, comic book stuff. So been having fun with that. Anyway, guys, those of you that watched, appreciate you hanging out with me and looking at some great old comics. And I hope to do this more often in the future. Certainly looking forward to that. So you guys have a great upcoming week, and we will see you soon. Onward and upward once more.